Well, I think an economy that's properly balanced, that includes both services and manufacturing, is one that will be resilient. And long-term job creation relies on the ability of an economy to have that balance. So manufacturing is critical to making sure that both in the short term we have the current capabilities, but as new products and technologies emerge, it's manufacturing that very often can take that bright idea and commercialize it into a venture that will create jobs. So manufacturing is very much at the heart of what I would call a sustained creation of job opportunities.
Could I also emphasize, we have examples of, brilliant examples of companies who are excelling in design, but I would also like to see that they actually bring some physical making of things in the country. Manufacturing is done in country as well as designing things. Also, I think it's important to actually keep an eye on job creation, because that's when people begin to contribute to GDP. And I think that's very important for us to keep an eye on both sides. One is innovation, but innovation should also contribute directly to job creation and wealth creation in terms of GDP.
I think that's right. And what I'm encouraged by is that we are clearly not going to be wanting to compete on the lowest price, with other nations. It's got to be around skills and modern, employment capabilities. Now, what I'm encouraged by is the shift in manufacturing is moving towards the greater integration of research, development and manufacturing, so that mass production, as it were, is becoming slightly less important and the customization more. Now that offers an economy that's a high value economy like ours a good opportunity. We shouldn't lose the production end quite so much if we're not trying to compete on price. If the integration of research, development and manufacture and that customization process is actually strong, then actually we should be able to retain those jobs. So I agree with Professor Roy.
Yeah, and also we are already very good. For example, in ultra precision, we are one of the leading figures in the world. So as in different technologies like plastic electronics, for example, we are doing extremely well. So I think what I would like to say that more design is done, but also more and more manufacturing of optics, manufacturing of ultra precision components are done in the country, along with other sectors. We should not forget there are a lot of other sectors in manufacturing which need support, like food industry, for example.
Very important.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. What we've tried to do with each of these sectors is to build a proper relationship between government and those sectors. So you're quite right. In pharmaceutical, the UK is actually very well placed, and the Life Sciences Office, which is led by my colleague David Willits, is very much focusing on building on both pharmaceutical and emerging biotech so that we maintain the advantage. But food and drinks are a very good example as well, and we were hearing about it earlier in the conference, which is that actually because of the way in which standard industrial classifications work, very often the food and drink composition of the total manufacturing output is often put to one side, yet it's crucial. And, when I talk to food and drink manufacturers, this country actually is the leading edge of many of the modern developments in this area. And so encouraging them to invest, encouraging the major businesses as well as the new emerging ones is a crucial part of our plan. The first thing I think is to have a clear and consistent tax regime so as people, particularly manufacturing, who are looking for a long-term investment, have some constancy that they know they can plan for 4 or 8 years. It's why we've reformed the way in which the short life asset regime works for capital investment alongside simplifying the tax system. But the other thing we're looking to do is to encourage research and development for the small businesses by enhancing the research and development tax credits, and also looking at equity investment where we're able to put in 200 million into the capital, the equity funds that Capital for Enterprise runs, alongside encouraging a supportive environment so that investors look to invest here alongside government. Government should be there to, if you like, bridge the gap, seed corn investment, but encourage and lever in a much larger amount of private investment.
I totally agree with you, and I was very pleased to hear from you your interest in bringing that stability in tax regime, simplification and stability, which is certainly going to help business. What I think we should also consider, how do we help small companies to grow, to collaborate so that they can leverage on multiple companies together, maybe a cooperative kind of model, and allow them to compete as a result in the global market. I think that kind of help would be essential if we can get some tax credit for that.
I think this is very important. It's about tax credit. It's also about the environment in which those emerging businesses operate, the collaborative nature of working perhaps with places like Cranfield, who are at the cutting edge of the way in which our newer technologies are emerging. It's getting that fusion of the entrepreneur, the investor, the academic to really kickstart many of our new ideas. Well, the first thing we're trying to do is, as we develop our technology and innovation centres, is recognise that spin-outs from universities and knowledge transfer is a crucial part of that dynamic. And so, working with Cranfield and others, we're looking to develop these centres around innovative manufacturing through the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, but also the development of the way in which, as I say, the Technology and Innovation Centres build on established strengths. So there are a number of universities around the country who are already engaged in this process, in the nuclear field, in the composites field, and so on, where actually it's getting that fusion of the academic world, that pure science, but then enabling it to transfer. That's the crucial part.
Exactly. Also, I would like to hear from you about what do you expect from our businesses, especially when it comes to manufacturing. I think it's a joint responsibility, it's a shared responsibility.
Yes.
Government, certainly you are doing your bit.
Yes.
And I am totally confident that universities will respond, and we will do more in terms of collaboration, working with other universities, working within university across multiple schools to promote manufacturing. But I think I would like to hear from you about business as well. What do you expect from business?
Well, I think the crucial part, is looking at making sure that they are investing as much as they can in their future. I think when I look at the comparable investment levels of our small and medium-sized businesses by comparison to some of our international firms, we often are not all, there are some excellent exemplars in Britain, but I also recognise that there is a proportion who don't invest sufficiently and who perhaps have relied on current markets. The reality, as we've seen, is that actually, nothing stands still in business and in industry. New competitors are coming along all the time. And so I think I have high expectations of British business to be reinvesting, to be upping their skill rates, to be constantly innovating, and not to be standing still. So that will be my broad message. There are some very good businesses who will come back and say, we're doing that. Great. I want more of them to do it.